What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. This channel is going to be about entrepreneurship and motivation over the past year or so, I've been struggling with deciding what I truly want in my life. There's a way out of that hole. Stay tuned. California dreaming about. First off, I want to say that my thought process is never linear. I always think about things in a backwards motion because of the degree that I'm currently pursuing, which is computer science, where you have to reverse engineer different questions that people might have for you to solve. So in saying that, I'm going to do this in chronological order. That way, it makes more sense as how I actually thought about it as time went on. So about 4 years ago now, I graduated from high school. Around this time in my life, I didn't really think too much about what I really wanted to do in school. As most of you may know, the school system doesn't really train you to figure out exactly what you want to do. Not only that, but they don't teach you things like personal finance and, bettering your stock portfolios and different things like that. They don't teach you any of that in high school. So coming out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And it just came a time where I needed to figure it out because school was literally 2 months away. I was going back to college in 2 months. So I knew I liked to work with computers. So I decided, what are some computer degrees that I can go for? I did a little research, not much. And I stumbled across computer science. So I went for computer science and I went through it for about 2 years, first starting with my general education and everything. I eventually got into my computer science actual core classes. And I realized that computer science really isn't something that I wanted to do. Obviously, because I had not done enough research on it and I didn't fully understand what I was getting into. I just knew it involved computers. So I got my first job at Radio Shack. And at the time I was working around a lot of people who were a lot older than me, which, that's to be expected. Not every job is going to have like young people or whatever. One of my coworkers talked to me a lot about investing in the stock market and different things like that. So eventually I got into Robinhood. I started trading stocks on Robinhood. I wasn't profitable at all. I did no research, no technical analysis. Everything I did, it was just, I feel like this is going to go up, which, as most of you might know, you should never do that because you have to have some type of background to support why you believe the stock is going to go up. Fast forward to my second job, and I was a lot more motivated to do things that involve the stock market and just entrepreneurship in general, but I wasn't more educated. I still hadn't done any research. I did put some more money into the Robinhood app, but I never really did anything with it because I still didn't know what I was doing. So, as I should have, I went on and I started researching some things online. I found a couple different people who were in the stock market, and I learned some best practices from those people, and I'm still in the process of learning those best practices. I jumped into trying to learn Shopify. I started growing my credit score so that I could get into real estate. And coming closer to the end of me leaving that second job, it was around the middle of last year, I just felt like I was working way too much. I was working 40+ hour weeks. And of course, a lot of people are going to say that's not really a lot. It wasn't like it was overtime or anything like that, but in my opinion, I had too much going on at once. I was working all of those hours as well as going to school full time. So I ended up leaving my job. And from then on, I really didn't feel good. I really felt directionless. School was cool, and getting this degree in computer science was very cool or whatever, but I don't feel like it was really what I wanted to do. And because of that, I went into, like, I guess you'd say, a depressive state where I was just like, what am I going to do? I'm not really having any success in the stock market, Shopify, or real estate, or any of my other ventures that I wanted to get into. Computer science wasn't fulfilling me. So it took a couple months, and one day something clicked in my brain. So mid-June, I quit my job, and I decided that I would use my resources that I had saved up to sustain me for as long as I could, while I would be learning about the different markets that I really wanted to get into. I would spend a lot of my time, dedicate a lot of my time to just researching these markets and finding out best practices and practicing it on my own, and just getting into really understanding what it was that I want my future to come out to be. So what I want to talk about are five things that truly helped me to understand and to create this direction for myself. Number one, this is your life. Nobody else has to walk in your shoes. So you should treat your life as your own. Do what you want to do with your life. Don't let other people dictate what you do. Don't worry about what other people think about what you're doing. If it's something that you want to do and you truly want to pursue, then go out there and pursue it. Because it's better to get out there and do what you actually want to do versus regretting it later on in life and saying, I really wish, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Don't do what other people want you to do. Definitely do not do what other people want you to do. I can't stress that enough. And that segues into the next topic, number 2, which will be, don't look for other people's approval. You should be able to self-motivate. You have to gain the mental strength to understand that what you are doing is something that you want to do, and it's okay for other people not to really understand what you're doing, or to not necessarily agree with what you're doing just because they don't understand it. Just because other people don't understand it does not mean that it is not a profitable venture, or even just a venture that you should do. Number 3, find a passion, no matter how broad it might be. If you find a passion, then you can let that passion be a vehicle to your success in the future. Just because something might not be profitable in the sense of getting a job for it, like a typical 9-to-5, does not mean that there is no way to profit off of it. A great example of this will be marketing. Entry-level jobs will probably get you about $40,000 a year. And of course, you'd have to work with the companies for quite some time before you start getting raises to get up to the higher end. You probably went to college for a 4-year degree. You're probably already coming out with some sort of debt, regardless of how small or how big it is. Versus you could do something like this, and you can start your salary at that $100,000 price point. So number 4, of course, is going to be research. You want to research your passion and find out what are some things that you can do in that field that can be profitable. Some things that maybe you had never thought of before, some things that a lot of people don't really do. And number 5, the final point would be to not do it for the money. You want to do something that you're just passionate about. And the reason I say this is because if you try to do it for the money, most of these things are going to take a while to build up. And because of that longer time frame that it's going to take to build these things, you might get discouraged because you're not creating that profit that you're looking for, getting to that next place that somebody else is already at. So it's best that you do things that you are passionate in. Like, I'm just passionate in entrepreneurship in general. I've been in your shoes where you feel as if you just don't know what you're going to do next, or you feel unfulfilled with your job, or you just feel like your life has no direction. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is a way. There's a way out of that hole. Stay tuned. So those are the 5 tips that I have for you all. If you all have any questions, leave a comment down below. Make sure you like the video if you found this video to have any value to you. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications. And until next time.